I'm sure this game needs no introduction. You're all men of culture after all, right? And a few of you are women of culture too, I'm assuming. Damn it, alright, now I'm genuinely curious. I have to go and check what kind of percentage my audience is split between. Huh. Wow. Alright, 5.8%. You know what, that's actually higher than I thought. I was under the impression that I had like 3 females that watched these videos, my wife being one of them. Cool. Well, after this video, I'm sure that 5.8% is going to drop by at least another percentage, because Action Taimanin is one of many video game adaptations set in arguably one of the greatest franchises of all time. I'm sure you're familiar with the animated Asagi anime, all 3 series. Yukikaze, Hell Knight Ingrid, Ingrid R, and Rose. I think there's also some kind of connection to tentacles and witches, right? And if you're not familiar with those, then you probably will be after this. You're welcome. Hey, my name is Stix, and welcome back to another episode of Worst Gacha Ever. The purpose of the Worst Gacha Ever series isn't solely to criticize a game, nor is it to praise it unconditionally. Rather, this video series exists as a means with which to both critique and complement various facets of a gacha game that I experienced over a set period of time, sometimes days, sometimes months. If you enjoyed this series, make sure to like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification because YouTube told me that if you don't, well, someone, I'm not saying who, is going to find your browser history. Oh, and make sure to check out the last episode in this series at the end of the video. Before we go any further, I just want to take a moment here to thank all of the absolute chads and chadettes that support this channel via Patreon. You're all freaking legends. Seriously, each and every single one of you. I would offer to give each of you a kiss, but I suffer from severe intimacy issues. Additionally, if you want to stay up to date with all the latest MMO, gacha, and gaming news, take a second here to follow Mrs. Stix and I over on Twitter. We tweet daily. So, Action Taimanin begins with several Taimanin on an airship. Immediately, you lose track of anything else going on because we're all degenerate losers here and we can't help but stare. Like, there's a story that is going on screen right now, but the only time that I have to actually read it is whenever it shifts off of the characters. After whatever happened, you're given the option of selecting your waifu. This is the waifu that you'll likely spend the first 5 to 10 hours of the game playing as other waifus are unlocked via actually playing the game. We have 3 waifus to choose between, who, if we were at McDonald's, would be labeled as small, medium, and large. Each waifu has their own unique weapon and fighting style, along with unique outfits, so make sure you select the one that best suits your playstyle early game, as we're stuck with them for a while. Or if you're dumb like me, permanently. Then your waifus go all wee, woohoo, right out of the airship, and we're introduced to the tutorial stages of the game. I was going to skip this entire section because I feel it is, well, unwarranted, but I felt the need to include the ending screen of the first tutorial stage because I'm aware most of you will enjoy it. Yeah, after making my way through the tutorial, I made it to the gacha of the game almost immediately. I'm not ashamed to admit that I definitely recognized a lot of these characters from their associated anime series. Not all of them, but quite a large number of them. Trust me, given how many options there are here, you're going to be doing a lot of pulling. For you know, for the stuff, not your stuff, the dude, come on. I pulled for some weapons, some resources, and some support waifus. Then I realized I couldn't pull for actual playable waifus. At least not that I could tell. Someone go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed as though the waifus I had to purchase separately, with each waifu having a set premium currency cost. The game is fairly straightforward. You have chapters, and each chapter has 5 missions. Missions involve deploying your chosen waifu into an instanced area and consists of trashing enemies and culminating in a boss encounter. You typically move through several different zones within each mission, eliminating all the enemies in the zone you're in before being allowed to progress to the next. There aren't hidden areas or any real options for exploration. However, the game does employ several different game modes. As an example, the game is predominantly a third-person hack-and-slash action RPG, but sometimes it becomes a side-scrolling beat-em-up platformer. It reminds me a lot of Nier Automata, including the waifu's massive assets. Come on, Stix, get your shit together. Combat is honestly pretty good. We're not talking punishing Grey Raven levels of good or even Honkai, but we have a variety of different abilities that we can learn and equip onto our waifus. Some of them are as simple as clicking the ability, others require them to be used as part of a chain or a combo. Effects look good without being overly flashy. Not that I have an issue with my waifu flashing me. I mean, not that I have... waifu, not that I have an issue with waifu's skills being flashy. Oh my god, I'm doing absolutely terribly today. Some missions feature a lot of plot. Like this one, we have that evil chick that has been running around doing like evil things for several chapters now. She's flaunting her, wait, no, she's not flaunting, she's taunting us. She's always run from encounters with us, but this time, she's gonna no, god damn it. She's literally walking away from us. We're letting her talk as she proceeds to walk away from us. Also, can we just rewind just a tiny bit there? Did she say he had a nice big sword? Like, dude, lady, that ain't even the slightest bit subtle. Eventually, she ends up going all psycho on us. We proceed to kill her, and yeah, I don't recall that happening in the anime. But it was also the end of the first part of the story before we move on to the next. It seems as though chapters feature arcs, with each arc focusing on different villains and introducing new waifus, new Taimanin. Now, I touched on playing the game from a different perspective and there being different game modes, but what I have yet to touch on is the varied game modes that are actually present, like this one, where you select your waifu, you hop aboard your motorcycle, and you race across a bridge. I don't know why we're doing that, and don't ask me why she's doing it in a bath towel, because I refuse to talk about it. Just be aware that she is going to be running around the game from this moment forth in that towel. Honestly, the racing minigame was kind of fun. I tried it and I failed my first attempt. I had Mrs. Stix try it and she failed her first attempt as well. Evidently, neither of us are ever going to join a biker gang or own a motorcycle after seeing how poorly we both handled it. But we can still live vicariously through our characters. There is a decent degree of depth when it comes to customizing your characters. You have your weapon, which has its own unique rarity, level, sub-weapon, magatama you can equip, all of which allow for substantial alteration of your base statistics. Combat skills you can equip, and passive skills that provide bonuses like increased HP, increased damage, reduced ability cooldown. Supporters that you can obtain through Gacha. These waifus are waifus for your waifus, if that makes sense, and they act in essence as another type of gear, providing benefits both in terms of skills and statistics to the waifus that equip them, costumes that provide you increased arm strength, especially in one arm. We can tell which arm that is. There's no point in trying to deny or hide it. And affinity, which admittedly I didn't know existed until right now. You know what, I'm gonna go ahead and, and give her a gift. On second thought, no, I'm not. I have none, apparently. God, shit, I'm a bad boyfriend. Outside of directly altering your character via skills, weapons, magatama, and supporters, you can send your waifus out on dispatch missions, upgrade weapons in the weapon facility, obtain additional waifu XP, and more that I will admit I mostly ignored, because the game was easy enough after upgrading my weapon and supporters to the degree that I had. So easy, in fact, that I either one or two shot every enemy, including the bosses. Wait, hold up. Is that Nemesis from Resident Evil? Holy shit, it's Nemesis from Resident Evil. Now, I noted that there is a lot of narrative present in Action Taimanin, and there is. Sometimes you'll go an entire chapter with no cutscenes, other times you'll get several per mission. Some are pretty sick, and then some are like this. That is, how do I best describe this? Oh, a shadow clone, yeah. Naruto went to the same shinobi school that I did, and we both learned the Kagebunshin no Jutsu. I got Tsunade, I got Karin, Mei, Hinata, Anko, and plenty more as waifus back at home. Just like all the waifus that I have gotten out of the Taimanin series. In all seriousness though, what the fuck am I doing there? Ultimately, Action Taimanin is an interesting game. It has some very enjoyable combat with fluid animations and a lot of depth to your characters. Zones are largely uninspired and get very repetitious, and given you have no freedom to run around, they feel a little bit constricting, which is fine. That's a kind of game that this is, so I'm not faulting it there. I just feel like this could have, or would have at least, excelled a lot more if I were given more freedom. Seeing so many waifus that I recognize from being a fan of the anime series was honestly kind of cool. It definitely gave me an interesting view of them as I saw events that were unfolding. The narrative was, well, I had no idea what was ever going on because there were always Taimanin on screen, and I can't be expected to pay attention to two things at once. Unless they're directly adjacent to one another and of similar size and shape. This is a game I would totally recommend you play if you're looking for something to play one-handed. You know, in case you get a sore second hand or arm from holding up your phone. Just, you know, don't show it to your family or your girlfriend. Now, if you're looking for the previous episode in the Worst Gacha Ever series, you can find that via this video right here, or if you're looking for a list of the most populated gacha games right now, then this video right here is what you're after.